From a foggy Jersey shore, we bring you MAC Women's Lacrosse on the final day of the regular season as the Iona Gales take on the Monmouth Hawks. 5 of the 6 teams have already secured their spot in the upcoming MAC tournament. With a win, Iona can be the 6th team into the field. Good afternoon. We welcome you inside the broadcast booth here at Kessler Stadium. I'm Eddie Acapinti alongside former Loyola Greyhound All-American Tim McGeaney. And Tim, for these two teams this afternoon, specifically Iona, playoff lacrosse begins right now.
It sure does. Great way to end the regular season. Game on the line. Iona battling for a playoff spot today.
Monmouth can finish anywhere from 1 to the 5 seed on the women's lacrosse side in the MAC. Let's take a look at the impact players in this game. The Gales are winning in. One of the players they'll be relying on, Tim, is Pamela Giordano.
Giordano, she is a finisher. She comes into today's game with 46 goals on the season, leads the team, 110 career goals. She represents 30% of Iona's offense.
Yeah, as Giordano goes, so go the Gales. And for Monmouth, it's senior midfielder Caroline Corbliss.
Corbliss leads the team from the midfield spot with the most goals, 26, 73 for her career. The key for her in conference play, she's got 12 goals in their wins and only 2 in their 2 losses.
Giordano and Corbliss will definitely be one of the matchups we keep our eye on here in this crucial MAC women's lacrosse match. We'll bring it right back. We'll have the starting lineups and the opening draw for you right here on ESPN.
From 2 stories to 20. From ready apps to emergency response. From your community to a nationwide network. The cleanup specialists at 1-800-SERVE-PRO. Everything under your roof, everyone under ours. Helping to make fire and water damage like it never even happened.
Rise and shine, people. It's your perfect day. A chance to find inspiration and prepare for the future. To build lasting relationships and push the limit harder than before. This is your today, and it couldn't be more perfect. Until tomorrow, when it happens again.
Starting lineup for the Iona Gales, who come into play today 8-8 overall. They're 3-4 in the league. Tim, we mentioned the season Pamela Giordano is having, but her running mate, one of her co-captains, Jenna Tolsman, doing it both ways, has also had a phenomenal season.
She has. Loved talking to the coaches pre-game just to get a sense of the type of players these ladies are. Grinder, 2-time captain, momentum builder. Again, she's a catalyst for this team.
30 goals. How about 41 ground balls as well for Iona? Monmouth comes in 7-9 overall. You saw a logjam at 5-2 in the league in our open with a bunch of other teams. We talked Caroline Corbliss, but you also have to talk about the attack for this Monmouth team, and it's led by Nicole Sarasso with great contributions from Jenny Staines, Alexa Smith, and Allison Tatura.
And you look at the top scorers for this team. For the top 5, you mentioned all 4 of them right there on attack, followed up with Caroline Corbliss, the leading midfielder scorer for the Hawks.
Mid-50s and cloudy, but the major key weather-wise this afternoon, as you see in our shot there, and a great job by our crew, will be a fog that has settled into the West Long Branch area over the course of the last couple of hours. With how close Monmouth is to the ocean, just about a mile away, this is what happens in springtime when you get a warm day followed by a cold day. And I'm no meteorologist, Tim, but I know when those two fronts get together, it equals more times than not fog.
I'm not a meteorologist. I'm a little foggy as it is, as a former goalie, attributed to taking too many shots in the head. But while it looks ominous on TV, down on the field should not be a problem.
Yeah, it does look worse the higher up you get. Tim and I were on the field pregame, and for our players this afternoon, it really shouldn't be an issue as far as connecting passes. And another part, like you said, Tim, you played goalie. Our goalies and their vision, again, field level, shouldn't be bothered this afternoon.
Shouldn't be an issue on the women's side in NCAA. Play with a yellow ball as opposed to the men that play with a white ball. I have no idea why that is, but it is what it is. And again, so should not be an issue today. But again, as we talked about in our open, shaping up to be a wonderful contest between these two MAC squads.
Monmouth and 4 other teams are already into the MAC tournament. Iona, with a win or a loss and some help, will be the 6th team into the tournament. But still so much to be decided today. This is the earliest of the remaining games in the league. There's another game at 4, and then games at 6 and 7 o'clock tonight. So here's what we know, Tim. By about 9:30 or so this evening, we'll know seeds 1 through 6, but there's a lot to be determined between now and then.
Very exciting. Mac's got to be excited that so many schools are in it, so much still on the line for everyone involved.
Opening draw in this final day of the regular season is controlled by Monmouth, and that, not to jump the gun, will be one of the keys that I know we keep an eye on all game long. Michelle Armstrong, the freshman, will control the opening draw. Tim, but that's something neither team is really exceptional at.
No, and you always want to, when you're previewing a game, look at the stat sheet, try to find out what, where they've improved or unfortunately gotten worse over the course of the year or even year over year, and that's definitely been a problem area for Iona in terms of the draw controls. They rank 112th out of 115. So, talking to Coach Mason, she said, look, quick goal right there. 1-0 already.
A great cut towards cage by one of Monmouth's leading scorers on the season. And we got to get a look inside and see that it was the senior Alexa Smith who, Tim, found her way towards the goal. How about her 39th of the season?
She's so good at this. You can see, look how quick that was. She caught it and just literally turned her wrists, put it on cage. 39th of the season. Great job. That is her MO. Cutting, catching, finishing.
Significant goal as well. Iona's the top defensive team in this conference. They give up under 9 goals a game. Monmouth jumping on top of them. You've just looking at the way goals are scored with both of these teams, you figure that Iona's the team that wants to play at the maybe not slower tempo, but maybe keep the score down a bit, Tim. They're a phenomenal defensive team.
They do look to control the pace, and I think a lot of that gets back to some of the issues they have at the draw control circle and not getting a lot of possession. So they want to try to slow the game down, play at their pace. You can see a great take right there, right down the side, and a goal.
A big-time answer as Iona is able to tie the game up at 1.
Yeah, Maureen Murphy, I think, just literally took that one. Watch the replay right here. And again, unless somebody stops you, just keep going to the goal. And she did a great job. It was up in the upper corner. Phenomenal finish.
The junior from Monroe, Connecticut, ties the game at 1. She joined action during that draw. After Iona controlled it as an extra attack player, she ran in and made the most of her first touch as we're now tied at 1.
Yes, you're right. She did a part of the substitution game as Iona's going to try to get and throw a lot of different ladies at the draw control, see if they can have any luck there. And she subbed right on and took it right to the goal.
So after losing the first draw in the game, as Tim mentioned, Iona, which is one of the worst teams in the country as far as draw controls, they've won 2 in a row. And they now look for the lead, and they'll take their first lead of the game. That was Emma Hager, the senior from Carlisle, Pennsylvania, putting the Gales on top.
Little too easy right there in terms of the Monmouth defense. Credit Iona keeping your head up when you're behind the goal at X, finding the open attacker, Hager right there with the quick finish. That went 5 home breaker. She did a really nice job changing planes, as you'll see right here. Head up, head up. Nice feed inside, quick finish, changed planes, goal. 2-1 Iona.
Assisted behind by Caitlin Nochez, her 5th assist of the season.
So much for the slow start, low scoring game we're going to have here.
Well, bad weather, a team that gives up under 9 a game, and the way Monmouth has played defensively in their last couple, this game was looking like one of those first to 10 could win. But it looks like Iona has said, forget that. We're going to put the pedal down.
Absolutely. And, Coach, as we were talking about previously, Coach Mason she basically said, "Look, we're in playoff mode already. Last week was a playoff game. Last weekend, this is a playoff game. So no holding back at this point." And she's right. You got to go out there and get after it.
A win and the Gales are in, or a loss by their arch rival, the Manhattan Jaspers, and they get in as well. Iona comes in off of a 12-11 win over Marist. It was a huge win for Michelle Mason's team, as Monmouth is controlling in the attacking area of the field. Allison Turturro got tied up, but a whistle against Iona. That win over the Red Foxes was a huge one, confidence-wise, for this Iona team, as Marist has been one of the big dogs, or really Foxes, I guess, if you want to go with their nickname, on the block. And that 12-11 win behind 4 Giordano goals was huge, setting Iona up in this scenario with a chance to go to the postseason.
It absolutely was, and credit to Iona for just getting after it. Again, like you said, Marist, one of the top teams, and it was a huge win for them. Coach Mason and her squad and her coaching staff coming today, they want to win. They don't want their season left in someone else's hands.
On that free position, goalie Shannon McCaffrey made the big save, and she leads the league in goals against average, one of the top keepers in the MAC, keeping this a 2-1 game.
Corbliss does a nice job. We had talked about her. She is, again, a catalyst from that midfield spot. She plays and logs a lot of minutes, a lot of miles on this field. But the more she's involved offensively, the better it is for the squad.
Iona leading 2-1 and controlling. Here is Giordano, going to give it up to Caitlin Becker. Becker's shot wide of the mark, but it stays Iona possession. A dangerous chance there. On the 50-50 ball, it'll go out of play, as giving chase was Monmouth's Amanda Miller and Iona's Jenna Tolzman. Gales will keep it.
Miller had it in her stick briefly, but just couldn't possess it. Great hustle, though, by both sides, battling for loose balls.
10 seconds for Iona to shoot. There goes Murphy, who scored the first goal. She's cut off. Giordano to beat the shot clock, and Brager takes care of it.
Easy stop there for Brager. Giordano just tried to get it on goal.
Yeah, the 90-second shot clock starts on the change of possession.
It was an excellent clear. Megan Hart, what you don't realize, oftentimes in the women's game, similar to basketball, she just sprinted 70 yards and shot just wide.
I think Schaefer might have got, well, something on it, maybe a stick, maybe an arm.
But again, as I was saying, Hart, again, that 70-yard sprint, and then she has to stop on a dime so she doesn't draw the charge. That is hard to do.
And we've seen in our ESPN3 and ESPN Plus coverage this spring, we've seen charges drawn all over the field. It doesn't have to be in the attack area. It can happen during a clear attempt, and it's all about positioning and really anticipation, Tim.
It is. It's something that I talk to when I talk to younger girls who are growing up in the rec leagues and in the high school. Nobody necessarily wants to set, that block or take that charge, but it's something that can really, again, get that change of possession could be so huge, and you have to have that much more body control as an attacker.
Jenny Staines being harassed defensively by Erin O'Donnell. So after Iona took the shot clock all the way down, Monmouth is bringing it way down as well. Nice move, nice dodge towards Cage, and Monmouth able to tie it up, as that was a beautiful one-on-one move from Nicole Sarasso.
Watch the change of direction here on the replay, and the face dodge is unbelievable. Coming around, you'll see it right, wait for it, right there. Right to the goal, under the, just an unbelievable individual effort. And again, It's an attacker's game, so if you can get a step like she did there, it was actually good position by the Iona defender, but she literally put on the brakes, quick change of direction to get underneath, and buries it.
23rd goal of the season for the sophomore from Massapequa, New York. She's Monmouth's leading assist player by a wide margin. Her 32 are already the 5th most in school history in a single season. And she's one of those attack players that you circle when you're doing scout and say, this is a player that could go off for one of those days and beat us.
And it's what we call the triple threat. And what that is when she gets the ball, she can dodge to score, dodge to pass, and feed from behind. And it, again, just a wonderful, wonderful all-around offensive player.
Well, after Monmouth won the draw, Megan Hart spun towards goal, and Iona did a nice job of transition defense. They'll now go back the other way on a clear in a 2-2 game and look to break that tie.
Been a frenetic pace so far. It's been exciting.
Final day of the regular season in the league. Almost an interception. Giordano throwing it down low. And a great move towards goal by Tolzman.
What body control. And then she face dodges, absorbs the check, gets it on goal. So critical in the game of lacrosse. Get your shots on goal. Make the goalie make a save.
An Iona team that is so good defensively has really been impressive, Tim, offensively in this game.
They have, and that's been something that Coach Mason had talked about. You know, they did lose, one of their Pugh was first in calls turnovers last year, first in ground balls. She was second in draw control, second in points. So, they did lose one of their major offensive weapons and have had some success, obviously, with their balanced attack so far this year.
They score 9 goals a game. They've got 3 through not even 6 minutes. Now, you mentioned a partner. The pace in this one has been very up and down. And to be honest, it's been pretty aesthetic to watch, and it's good for a broadcast crew and a television audience.
Yes, it is. Fog or no fog, both these teams are dialed in today for sure.
Yeah, the fog is now, it's kind of lessening a bit, and it's starting to break up again. Really not an issue on the field, more so of an issue the higher up that you get.
Good defense there by Iona. That was Jenny Staines, had a head of steam, and again, like we had talked about, she had to put the brakes on.
Here's Corbliss finding Jenny Staines, who's come on of late and having a real nice season for Monmouth. Try to split dodge, and the whistle will keep it with Monmouth. And I believe, see where they position Staines, it will be an 8-meter opportunity in one of the more ideal locations, directly in front of Shannon McCaffrey. Staines getting the step and getting the score to tie the game at 3.
Excellent shot right there. Stick side low, changes planes again, gets it on cage. You'll see the replay coming up right here. Great camera angle. High to low, just buries it.
I'll tell you, this game so far has featured very efficient offensive execution, Tim. I can't recall too many shots that have gone wide of the mark. We've already seen a couple of saves made, and we also have 6 goals scored on not a whole lot of attempts.
As a former goalie, I'm feeling for them. I'm feeling for the goalies. But again, that is what we talk about. Make goalies make saves, challenge them with every opportunity, and take advantage of your opportunities. And both offensive squads are surely doing that today.
Been 10 shots in this game. 7 of those have been on goal. 6 of them have gotten beyond our goalies.
And the save that Brager made, that was a last second try to beat the shot clock attempt.
Yeah, good point. Monmouth winning another draw, but then before Megan Hart can get rolling, Giordano will be sent off.
Be a yellow card, 2-minute dangerous check. So difficult. See, for a split second, she saw an opportunity for the trail check. Just came too close. The officials were right there, made that call, resets the 90-second shot clock.
So the yellow card on Giordano will give Monmouth an advantage for 2 minutes.
Nice job by Monmouth with the patience on the clear. Change sides of the field, almost like you do in soccer. You want to change sides of the field, opens things up a little bit. That was an easy clear for them. Now just take your time, look for opportunities. 7 on 6.
Corbliss was able to, Tim, that time split the defense, and it looks as though earn a free position chance, and she did what you were preaching there, showed good patience.
Yep. And what we'll see here, she's a righty, a natural righty, so what she's going to try to do, she's going to try to get to that hash mark at the top of the crease and shoot it to the back pipe.
When she tried to do it, McCaffrey was able to make her first save.
McCaffrey reminds me of, watching her in warm-ups, reminds me of a hockey goalie. The way she plays her angles, gets down on low shots.
Still a minute on this penalty that Iona is trying to kill off.
Just be patient. Opportunities.
Turturro ran right into a pair of defenders, and an offensive foul is called on Monmouth's Allison Turturro. So, Tim, you mentioned Shannon McCaffrey playing more like a hockey goalie. For the viewing audience out there, kind of explain the difference between that versus maybe a traditional lacrosse goalie and how they'd play it.
Yeah, and this is why I love the position of goalie, because there are so many different styles. You can have a wider base, you can stand up taller, and it's all predicated on what the particular goalie is good at. And she's got very quick hands, and she's taller in stature, so she gets a wider, not too wide of a base. Great pickoff there by Corbliss. Let's see.
Here goes the senior, 1-on-2 towards Cage, and McCaffrey was able to come off the line.
Right there. She came out of the line just like a hockey goalie would, as opposed to with Brager, she would have stayed deep in her crease, played it a little bit differently. So just there's little nuances. And again, that's something that the coaches see in film, but it's all predicated on what the goalie's strengths and weaknesses are, and then you play to that.
You mentioned similar to a hockey goalie, and just hearing your description as well, I also picture a soccer keeper having to maybe come off the line, cut an angle down, and like you said, it's all based on strengths, and really it's up to the individual, whether it's player or the way that they're taught.
It is, and I'll never forget, I changed my style of play in college because I was too antsy. And if you listen to these broadcasts, obviously I like to talk a lot, got a lot of energy. I'm here hugging Eddie. But that one didn't get on Cage. But what it forced me to do, and through film study, I widened my base a little bit because I wound up having a shoulder length base and then would hop out and then try to make a save. That's just too much wasted movement.
Well, it's similar, and really across a lot of athletic spectrums, so many principles, sport to sport, are the same. Hearing you describe that is a way that a softball or baseball player could field a ground ball, where if they're not wide enough, you don't want to go up in your stance to go down and field it. You want to stay athletic and closer to the ground in order to make the play.
Yes, that's a great description there. Also, similar to what quarterbacks, you'll see some quarterbacks have what's known as happy feet.
Right.
Goalies want to try to eliminate that as well.
Monmouth on an elongated attack here, 3-3 game, as we near 10 minutes gone by. And it seems like both teams have kind of taken a deep breath a bit after that incredibly fast pace and start to this game.
And that's not surprising. You're just trying to feel each other out. Everybody knows what's on the line. You know, Monmouth is competing. They want the #1 seed. They want a home game. I don't blame them. I want to play at home as well. So there's a lot on the line. Even though they've clinched, at least they know that they're in, and they know that Iona is going to come out here and battle for every square inch of the field.
Another free position chance. Monmouth had a few of these in the first half. That time Sarasso was defended well. Iona has been very sound defending those plays. Corbliss, a beautiful start and stop move, but McCaffrey was right there. Now a wild scrum ensues, and ultimately Iona defensively will come up with another stop.
And McCaffrey, again, coming off her line, just like a hockey goalie, was able to cut that one off quickly, make the point-blank save. What Monmouth is going to have to do to counteract that is her aggressiveness there. The one drawback to that, the backside of the goal is open. But that was such a bang-bang play. It was really hard to get anything done there on the backside. But anything they catch on the crease, they've got to know that she's going to play that higher arc and be right there to stuff. So they've got to go down to the ground or shoot around her.
On the Iona attack, Caitlin Becker threw one away, but Monmouth unable to clear, and they'll give it right back to the Gales in a 3-3 game. And Giordano will wait for teammates to join. So far, both of our impact players being kept scoreless to this point.
Now that's not like a Sports Illustrated jinx, because we've done impact players before that have gone on. We did Jenny Staines a few games ago, and she went on to have a wonderful outing.
See, the beautiful part about identifying impact players is you tell the story one of two ways. They either go off and have great games, or they're being held in check, and it forces other people to step up. So it just gives you the starting off point.
Okay, fair enough. That's fair. I like that.
Mentioned the Iona defense a handful of times in this half already. Well, Monmouth's come up with a bunch of caused turnovers as well, as here comes Kate Ryan into the attacking area, the senior from Morton, Pennsylvania. An attack player the last couple of seasons has really anchored the Monmouth defense in front of Riley Brager.
She's second on the team in ground balls, and you can see why there. Unbelievable stop there. I think McCaffrey may have gotten her stick on that. Again, you can see how aggressive she is on her line, but woo, what quick hands.
And they're going to have another Iona player sent off with a penalty.
Hearing some dog barking. I wonder if that's I wonder if that's a call. I wonder if maybe that came from the bench area. Not sure.
Yeah, I don't know either. I heard it in my headphones as well. So the penalty is against senior Gabriella Di Demizio, who you'll learn more about. She is quite the story on and off the field later in our game with the third member of our crew, Susie Milano.
Listening to her story, I feel like I don't do enough.
Oh, I would second that. I actually heard what her coach, Michelle Mason, was telling us about her, and I immediately wanted to read 8 books and run 10 miles. Turturro getting a step herself and scoring to put Monmouth in front, 4-3.
Great finish there by Turturro. She went off hip and stuck it right in the net. You can see this for the sophomore.
29th goal of the season for Allison Turturro, and on the final day of the regular season, she gives Monmouth an early 1-goal lead.
When you find a place to pursue your passion and design your future, success comes naturally. And when you let devotion inspire creativity, busy days aren't overwhelming. They're perfect.